Hello, it's David from David Savory Electrical Services Limited, and welcome to New Toy Tuesdays, an occasional slot where I show off something shiny that has come my way. Items I show here are new to me if not to the market, and may either be something I've purchased directly or be supplied to me by a manufacturer or wholesaler for trial or review. Beware, however, reviews are honest and I will point out any flaws as I see them. And today I'm looking at the Klein 55452 RTB rolling toolbox. Now I know that in a previous video on the toolbox stores I showed a rolling toolbox, my trusty Stanley box that I've had for about 3 years now. This is the second one I've had. I had another one for about 2 years before that. The wheels fell off the first one. This one's starting to fall apart a bit. It's the sharpness of the tools, I think, inside it. Eventually you drag it over enough steps and stuff and it all just starts to break apart. So it's done well and it's still going, but there was an awful lot of stuff in there that I was carrying around that I figured I didn't really need to be carrying around, like lump hammers and bolsters, chisels, etc. that it could live on the van quite safely, quite easily, and didn't really need to be lugged about every day. So what I want to do is to carry the battery tools, and that's where this thing comes in. Now it says here load tested up to 200 lbs. What the hell is an lbs? I don't know. That's no good to us, is it? That's 90 kilos, and just to put that into perspective, I weigh 73 kilos, so that's me plus Nigel's dense head. I imagine would add up to about 90 kilos. If we were to be blended and mashed up, and we could probably be stowed into one of these things and carried quite happily. So let's have a closer look at it, shall we? And I couldn't find much in the way of videos online reviewing this. Klein have an official video where they don't tell you much. They don't even open it to look inside it. I found another video with some Americans on it talking about the thing, but we need to know how it's going to cope for a good old British tradesperson over here. So it says on the blurb here that it's got 24 pockets. That sounds like an awful lot of pockets. Let's have a quick look at the pockets before we have a closer look at what's inside. We have one pocket at the side here which runs the full width of the thing, and we have another smaller pocket that's ideal for carrying your mobile phone on this side, and then at the front we have 2 pockets on the zip compartment. So if I open the zip compartment, we can see that there is tool storage available in there, where I've got my various crimps, bowl grips, and that sort of thing. I'll probably populate that more and more over time. It's just that this is just the stuff that's come straight over from the Stanley box, but they all go together in there quite nicely and stow away rather well, and are easier to get to than they were in the Stanley box. But what about looking inside here? Well, zip it open, and we can see in here that in real terms, for your UK tradesperson, we've got 24 bottles of Heineken in there, and we've still got room for another 4 bottles of Sol on top, which I might have to tuck into one of those right now. I've been looking forward to this all day. Apologies, I've got hay fever, by the way, so I'm sniffing and snorting all over the place here. Incidentally, my bottle opener here is also from Klein, and as it turns out, if you at the moment cities have an offer on where if you spend over 50 quid on Klein tools, then you can be entered into a draw where they give you a scratch card, and you can win things like, well, a Klein bottle opener. I've given that a thorough testing this evening to make sure that it does the proper job, and so far so good. Okay, now bottles of beer aside, can I fit all my battery tools into here for both easy access to get them onto site, but also for taking off the van for security at night? And I reckon that my array of battery tools probably takes up a similar space to the amount of bottles of beer I've got in here. So I think we're onto a winner, but let's take a closer look. Okay, inside we've got a nice deep space. It's also orange in colour, nice bright orange, and the idea of that is so that you can, if it were black, you'd sort of lose your tools in there, so you can see your stuff in there. Even though that's the case. So we were on site yesterday in a very dark place, and we still had trouble sort of finding things sort of at the bottom. But I've got this. This is a big Larry light, which I think I got from Cities, but I think they sell them in like Tool Station and stuff as well. That's been in my toolbox a couple of years, about 3 years now. Never really use it because I always carry a torch on my tool belt,
so I never really need to fish this out of the box, but I figured because we've got these little pockets down the front inside here for stowing various tools, which I probably won't be using because this is my battery tools rather than for hand tools. If I stick Big Larry in one of those pockets, then what I have is some internal bag illumination when I need it. So Big Larry has found a home and a valid use. In fact, that was such a good idea that Nigel even adopted it for his own tote tool bag. Anyway, I'm going to stack this now with my Vargo tools and to see if they all fit. And the only thing that I think might be problematic, or I know to be problematic because I've already been using this, is the saw, which I'm able to invert the blade on both so I don't go cutting myself whenever I stick my hand in there, and also because if it were to stand up with the blade extended, I'd have trouble closing the flaps. And there we are, it all does just about fit in. A bit of a pain, I suppose, if you want to get to something at the very bottom, but most sites we go to, the popular stuff is going to be like the SDS on the top, and if you need to get to something at the bottom, it's no great shakes to get it out. Most sites we go to will be emptying out much of it anyway, but it does allow for me to easily roll it around and to get it on and off the van, probably more so than the Stanley did. One other quick thing to mention before my hay fever finishes me off for today. The Stanley box had this rather natty organiser tray for my Vargo connectors. Obviously I can still use that, but I was in cities and they are now selling these stackable Vargo trays with little carry handles. That probably won't last for 5 minutes. They're 195 pieces for £32.95 plus VAT. So that stocks me up nicely on my Vargos and gives me a rather neat carry tray to keep on the van. And like I say, they're stackable, so if I found that one wasn't enough, I could add to that, which is fairly interesting and rather neat looking.
But back to the bag, and before I bought the thing, I did some half-arsed internet trawling, but I couldn't find many reviews about it. The official Klein YouTube video shows it being rolled around on a job site, but they don't actually open up the thing to show you inside, much to the annoyance of their viewers. Seth Middlemass, for example, exclaims, "This video is so stupid, we know it has wheels, now show us the inside." Or Mike Johnson, who asks, not unreasonably, "What is inside? What is behind the zippers?" What's this? Electrical Ion says, "You're pretty lazy if you have to wheel around your tools. Hit the gym and start lifting, you wimp." Fucking moron. Shall I also leave the van at home and jog to site because I have legs, you doofus? Klein have answered some of these, but notice this one from Savas Papa Sava asking, when is this going to be available in the UK? Which has no answer. And you know, I find this with a lot of American tool companies. It's the same with Fluke, Vito Propack and Stanley Tools, to name but another three. If a US tradesperson such as Randy A. Douche Fiddler III from local Union 124 gives these firms a shout out or asks a question on social media, you can bet they're all over it like dog shit trod into the carpet. But ask them something from an account based outside of the States and you can actually hear the Markham's people physically wrinkle up their noses as though you've just walked up to their desk, opened the top drawer and farted on their hole punch. It's like they think maybe there are tradespeople outside of the US and maybe they even buy our gear, but we don't know, and frankly, we don't want to know. We're here for our local union boys. I did find another video of it kind of being put through its paces in Chicago, but videos that begin with Americans shouting, "Hey, what's up everybody?" are the audible equivalent of stuffing breadcrumbs up one's arse and are as off-putting to me as my foul language doubtless is to many of you. Crikey, look at this knobhead. God bless Clean and God bless America. Bloody hell, mate, maybe take a day off, yeah? I'd assume your God has better things to pass his blessings onto than a profitable hand tool company, you fucking sponge. Anyway, I've linked to these other vids in the description, so go check them out if you want to know more without my offensive commentary. But enough of this, let's get it out onto the van. It's our builder.
Yeah.
There he goes. First time the new Klein is coming off the van. Look at it, it's in pristine condition.
Oh, that's much easier than the old Stanley box.
Let's go get it dirty. You feeling dirty, Nige?
Oh, I'm feeling filthy.
You're a pervert. Here our model tradesperson is able to stride with ease, knowing that those big wheels are taking the load. Incidentally, and surprising as it may sound, I've never actually done any modelling work, but I'm clearly a natural at it, and am available for highly paid workwear modelling contracts, as is Nigel, although he commands a much, much lower fee, as he looks like Captain Birdseye's creepy uncle. And he also happens to smell of fish. But back on topic, and just to say that extending handle and those big rolling wheels make even the toughest of terrain easy to navigate with a full toolbox load.
So even on a rough site like this, we still have this lovely smooth, almost gliding action to the thing, which allows it to be dragged along with ease across the various terrains.
It's clock working. I need to take a dump.
Trying to film here, mate. Just walked in on my less than perfect take. Sometimes your Belendius knows no bounds, Nigel.
Well, I need to go, so...
What do you want?
I want to go take a dump.
There's no working loo here, mate.
Well,
why didn't you go before you came out, for goodness sake? Why'd you always need to go when we're on site?
Well, 'cause I need to go.
Is it a Freddy front or a Billy back?
Billy back?
Oh, Jesus. Well, tell you what. Here's some loo roll. There's a bush. Go nuts, mate.
I ain't going in the bush. Build is out there, and you're filming. I just know.
I'm going to be taking it, pinching off a loaf, am I?
I don't know. I don't know with you.
Tell you what then, I should go and do something else, and if you can find somewhere better to do your filthy business, then you go nuts, mate.
Right.
So there we have it, the Klein rolling tool bag. Tough stuff, indeed, for any kind of building site environment. This had better just be some kind of nutty chocolate fudge, Nigel, you bastard!